Crazy.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Continue. Thanks, Chris. Okay, and we have one more minute, and then we will start. Once Verizon says it's actually 7 o'clock. Okay, it is actually 7 o'clock. This is the Wellfleet Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting, and we are being recorded, and I don't think we have anyone in the audience who needs to be told how to talk, because we seem to have only the applicant. We're going to turn to them in just a minute. So we'll begin. Case 2116, Barnes, 35 3rd Avenue, map 40, parcel 72, application for a special permit under Wellfleet zoning bylaw 6.1.5B to replace one-story single-family house with a two-story, three-bedroom house to be located 25 feet from the north property line and 15 feet from the east property line. And the board will be Mick and myself and Manny and Trevor and Will. All right, so you
Okay.
are on, Mr. and Mrs. Barnes.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Tell us about your project.
okay. Well, we currently have a little cottage that was built in 1959, and it's all on one floor. And there are 3 bedrooms and a big open living room, dining room area. And it was kind of a home project by the person who built it. That's what we were told. And so a lot of kind of jerry rigging in the foundation and everything else. And over the 10 years we've owned it, we've done some bracing, but the foundation is a bit in distress at this point. So we've had contractors look, and trying to save the house is probably not economically the right thing to do, according to them. So, so we've thought we'd like to get a new house and have a 2-story house, so that we'd have the bedrooms on the first floor and the living on the second floor, and hopefully get a little water view up there. It's a non-conforming structure, obviously, as you know, but we are we would move the new house 25 feet from the north property line. So that would become more conforming. But we would like to leave it at 15 feet from the east property line, which is the rear, mainly because that's the highest part of the lot, which allows us to sit a little higher and maybe see the water. So we currently, our lot coverage is at 6.8%. The planned lot coverage would be 6.9%. The current square footage is 890, that's on our property card. And the planned would be about 1,600, not including the basement and things like that. So, and our builder says it is 2,100 total floor area. I assume they're including the basement and decks in that, perhaps. So that gives you an idea of the building volume. And then the height. I have to apologize for all the tiny writing on those sheets that I gave you. And I hope everybody got the electronic version, and maybe you were able to blow some of that up so you could read the tables. I was trying to keep things at 11 by 17, and when I shrank them down, I didn't think about how small the numbers were getting. So
we can show.
And we can show it on our screen as well if you'd like to have that. We can show you the table.
Pretty much got it, but I will see later if the word. Yep.
Well, so the mean elevation is on the table, and it's let's see. Can you find it?
I had that one.
37 feet.
Yeah, 36.7 feet. So if you add 28 to that, you get 64.7. And our architect did his own calculation, and he got slightly different numbers. So he's 65.4, I think. So, it's kind of, different people kind of estimate differently, I think, when they do these things. But anyway, if you look at the front of the house, the only thing that hits 28 feet is the dormer in the front. And the main roof is 1.5 feet lower behind it. And then the railing of the widow's walk will be 28 feet. So, so that's the height. And it's 65 feet when all added together. So I don't know if there's anything else. Should
I'll go to
cover.
the board for questions. Thank you very much. So Manny,
I don't have any problems where it's situated or proposed to be situated. And if there's any problems with the height, which I'm not sure of, the building inspector would take care of that.
Okay.
okay, great,
That's all I got.
okay. Mick,
Yeah, you can come back to me later, please.
okay, all right, Will,
I agree with the thoughts of Manny.
okay, Al,
I would also agree with the thoughts of Manny.
Jan,
The height is the main issue.
right. Jan,
Yeah, I'm with everybody, with everything that's been said. I just have two quick things. Well, first one is just really directed towards our own board, I guess. Could we not accept plans this tiny again? Because I couldn't read a thing on them until I got the digital file, and I got new glasses, new lenses
It is
on
true.
Monday. I couldn't read a thing.
right.
If I read the digital file correctly,
Yeah, but
I believe the proposed site plan says that the northerly side setback is 23 feet. And we just need to be correct about it and understand what we're doing.
Well, that's because he's got kind of an like a cantilever on the first floor. So if you go to the basement foundation, it's 25 feet, but on the first floor, it's going to jut out 2 feet. So
Don't
it's
we
23
calculate
feet to
setback
that.
from the shadow cast?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
really
I guess,
23
yeah.
feet. So it's going into the
Should be
setback.
23, okay.
Okay.
It's a bay window.
Mhm,
So it's 2
okay.
feet into the setback.
Mhm.
Okay.
okay.
One other thing, and this is for my own continuing education. So if you're completely removing a house, you're not just adding a second floor, is there a volumetric increase to what existed before inside the setbacks, or you're just starting from scratch? That's just for my personal knowledge. Like if you were writing up the findings, is there a,
I would say it's a volumetric increase in the setback, but I'll defer to Trevor. What would you say?
Oh, well, it's hard to know. I mean, it may or may not be.
Yeah.
Because they're pulling it further out of the setback. So
Right.
they're pulling it further out, but it's going up higher. So, it could be a wash.
Yep.
You'd have to do some calculations of the volume to know for sure, but
if I were writing findings, or like for future reference, do you need to know that, but this volumetric increase? Because there's no calculation for that.
I don't think so.
we often mention it, but I don't think, it's not something they specifically asked for in the bylaw, so I don't
Right.
think we need to
Right.
mention it either
Mhm.
way.
That's it.
Right.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Right. Okay. And now that I'm with you, Trevor, what questions?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I'm happy enough with the fact that they are improving the setback situations on both corners.
Mhm,
They're barely increasing lot coverage.
mhm.
I think it'll be up to the building inspector to make sure that they stay within the height limit when they're under construction.
Mhm.
And I agree with the owner's assertion that it's in pretty rough shape. I did poke my head underneath the building in a few spots this morning when I walked around, and
Yeah. Yeah. Retha?
I don't have any questions. I think this is going to be a real big improvement.
And Andy?
Yeah, I agree with what everybody said. I was out there yesterday. I met the owners. They were very nice. And my only concern is height. I think that's the only issue. This is non-conforming to begin with. It's kind of less so now.
Mhm.
However, they're right there, and I see the math, but that remains to be seen, and it's up to Paul or whoever the building inspector is to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
That's the issue
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
I'm fine with
Yes.
it as it
Yep.
is.
Yeah. And Mick, I'm back to you.
Yeah, my only issue was the height. As I drive out to Lieutenant's Island Road, most of the houses are nestled in the woods. And,
Mhm.
you know, I want to make sure the height is correct because I just personally, I don't like the idea of a big, huge structure sitting up above everything else on what's a pristine area in Wellfleet. But it's not enough for me to say no on this project. I'm agreeing with the project. That's just my own personal opinion, that we get that the height is exactly as it should be.
Right. Yeah. And that was my question too. My question, which caused you to have to send us more things, was I said, I can't figure out what the height is on this building. And now I do see the average grade. You're way up anyway. So that's part of the difficulty with that height.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it would be up to the building inspector, and maybe you don't get the widow's walk. I don't if it goes too high, but I think it's doable.
Did you
Um,
forget to ask Al?
Hmm?
Did you forget Al?
No,
You
I
didn't.
spoke.
Okay.
Thank
Al
you.
did. Al agreed with
Yeah.
Manny.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I went through my little tiles. It's always an interesting challenge to try to find all the tiles. So
Sharon,
okay. All
Sharon,
right.
let me just jump in. I assume obviously a butter's got notice, so I just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have a letter in support.
Oh.
Good catch. I have a letter from Mark and Christine Washburn. And they say, I'm writing to express our support for the Barnes application 2116 to replace their existing single-story home with a new two-story home. This new home will be a very positive and welcome change to our little corner of Lieutenant Island. We sincerely hope that this application for a special permit is approved without any hesitation by the Zoning Board of Appeals, and they live at 23rd Avenue. As opposed to 35 3rd Avenue. So they must be your direct neighbors.
Yeah, they're kind of across the street and down the road a little bit.
To the
Okay.
northwest of us.
Okay. Yes. Good
I
catch.
spoke to an adjacent neighbor when I visited, and they had no objections either.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, we did email everybody before they got their letters to let them know. And
Mhm.
everyone kind of said good wishes and
Mhm.
hope it goes well.
And it didn't look like the height was going to interfere with anyone's view.
No.
Well, it'll be 11 feet taller than the current building.
Mm-hmm. And
Because, there's a cathedral ceiling already there.
yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else from the
I
board?
guess,
Thank
yeah,
you, Andy.
Me again. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I asked the owners the question I'm going to ask you, Sharon, or
Mhm.
anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Why did the building inspector request that they get a special permit?
Because of
Because
setbacks.
they're
Because
under zoning bylaw, they are a non-conforming house, so any
it.
alteration needs to come to us.
Okay, so that's my education. They were
Yeah.
already non-conforming.
Right,
Don't remain non-conforming.
right. They will remain non-conforming, although a little bit less non-conforming,
Correct.
but that just requires a special permit.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Sure. Anything else anyone wants? All right, are you ready to go to findings?
I'll make a motion to go to findings.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay. That was Trevor, Chris. Okay, and I have Will to thank for these findings, so they are not as long as my findings usually are.
Or Jan's.
Or Jan.
Or Jan's, yes.
Sharon, if I could interrupt, we need a vote on that.
I'm sorry, yes, we need a vote to go to findings. All in favor, Mick?
Aye.
Manny?
Aye.
Will?
Aye.
Trevor?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Okay, the application is for a special permit to replace the existing one-story single-family house with a two-story, three-bedroom house. The proposed new house is hereinafter referred to as replace structure. The existing house, built in 1959 prior to the adoption of Wellfleet zoning bylaws, is situated 11.12 feet from the front line and 14.7 feet from the easterly lot line. presently the use is a pre-existing non-conforming use in that the bylaws now require a front setback of 30 feet and a sideline setback of 25 feet. Without a special permit, the replaced structure would not be allowed due to the fact that it would result in a volumetric increase / square foot increase within the existing setbacks. The replaced structure would not physically encroach further into the existing setbacks and would in fact reduce the current setback nonconformities, as the front setback would be increased from 11.2 to 23, I'm now saying, and the sideline setback would be increased from 14.7 to 15 feet. The square footage of the existing house is 891 square feet, and the square footage of the replaced structure is 2,100 square feet. The applicable provisions for this application under the town of Wellfleet zoning bylaws are section 1.6.1.5.1b and section 8.4.2. Section 8.4.2.1, the board finds that the replaced structure is suitable in that it is compatible with nearby land uses which would not be damaged by the additions. B, the board finds that the roads, drainage, and other public utilities would not be affected by the replaced structure. C, the board finds that the additions will not contribute to environmental damage. And section 8.4.2.2 is not applicable. And section 8.4.2.3, the board finds that the building and site design will not adversely affect scenic views from public ways or neighboring properties. That's what I got. Questions, changes?
That's all.
If not, I need a motion to accept the findings.
I'll make a motion to accept the findings.
Okay, I need a second. Second. All right, all in favor, Mick,
Aye.
Manny,
Aye.
Will,
Aye.
Trevor?
Aye.
And myself, aye. And given that, I need a motion to grant the special permit.
I will make a motion to grant the special permit.
And Trevor will second. And all in favor, Mick,
Aye.
Trevor?
Aye.
Manny,
Aye.
Will,
Aye.
and Sharon, aye. Okay, you're in business. Chris, can you tell them how they go forward from here, given that we don't hand them anything stamped right now?
Yes, what happens now is I type up the decision, and Sharon will sign off on it. I take it to the town clerk, and that starts the clock for the 20-day appeal process. When that is completed, I have the town clerk sign the paperwork, and then I mail certified mail to you, and then you take that up to the Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Well,
All right.
thank you everyone for your time and your
Yeah,
looking
thank you
into
very
this
much.
and your analysis.
You're
Appreciate
now
it.
legitimate. Go forth and enjoy your building. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, sure.
All right. Thanks
Bye-bye.
again.
Bye-bye. Chris, do we have minutes?
We have minutes from our last meeting, and I'm racking my brain what the date was.
Wait a minute, I might be able to say from my list here. It was, we didn't have a May 13th one, so was it the April 22nd?
Yes.
That will live in infamy.
April 22nd. Mhm. Okay. And I think, did everybody finally get those? They were very long.
Yeah, I got them on via email.
Okay, good. All right. So then I need a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
And I need a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor. Mick,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Manny.
Manny wasn't there?
You can always
that
vote on,
mean?
you can't move or second, but you can vote
Aye.
on them.
Aye.
Andy,
Aye.
Will,
Aye.
okay. You can always vote on minutes, even if you weren't at a meeting. You can't move or second them, but you can vote. Al.
Aye.
Trevor.
Aye.
Retha.
Aye.
And Sharon, aye. Okay, two things. We did get a letter from town council about the lifting of the state of emergency and what that would, and questions about whether that meant we needed to go back to the COA for in-person meetings to avoid problems with open meeting law. The governor has changed that, or basically filed legislation to change that for two reasons. One is that they're not ready to do that. And the other is that people like the accessibility of Zoom. So at the moment, I don't think we're making any changes before September at the earliest. That's where that one stands. Stay tuned. The other is that Chris asked me if we wanted to go back to one meeting a month. And frankly, I'm happy with these nice short meetings rather than piling up a bunch of cases for one night. But, if anybody's, particularly since we're on Zoom and we all don't have to commute anywhere. If anybody has trouble with that, you can, we can talk, but.
Well,
that's-
can I just, how
Mhm.
how many hearings do we have scheduled for our next scheduled meeting?
One.
I mean, yeah, I just wonder, I mean, I don't care. I don't have much to do, so I'm happy to happy to do whatever you choose. But I'm just wondering if it turns out, if it's real light,
Yeah, I agree with you, Will. It's just that I'd
and
like to sort of
especially with the
play it out a bit.
summertime and family members being around more. But as I say, I don't know.
Well, these two have already been scheduled for June 10th, and we have another one for June 24th.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we do the 2 a month and then revisit it at the end of June?
Yeah.
And if
Good
it
idea.
looks like we do that.
See what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
That
see
sounds fun.
what's happening in July.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to keep you happy, Sharon.
Thank you. I like short meetings. I really, after the those 4-hour
Yeah, those
marathons,
grueling
I've
sessions.
gotten very fond of the thought that, oh, this can be over and I can actually eat dinner after this meeting instead of before.
That was an anomaly. We have
True.
never had 118 participants at a meeting since I've been on a board.
Oh, that high? I knew it was in
It
the
was that
90s.
high.
Yeah,
It was
that high.
118.
Mhm.
And then, at one stage it was 124, but people dropped off. So it was a significant meeting, and it was destined to go on long.
Right.
So,
Aaron and Chris did a great job.
yeah, you
Thank
guys
you.
really did a good job.
We sort of went crazy. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, can I just say one thing to
Oh, sure.
Jan, since you have, I used to kid Bruce Drucker all the time that as a lawyer, he must have got paid by the word. Because I said, your findings are ridiculously long. And he of course ignored me, but I just had to figure out why would he feel that way. So that's what I used to accuse him of being paid by the word.
We'll
I'm a
never
better safe than sorry person, so you put it in as much as you think you need, and then more.
No, it started with Bruce. I know. I remember when it started. It started when the court said our findings were inadequate.
Exactly.
And they got sent back to us. We had a case remanded to us for
You're right.
inadequate findings. And that put the fear of God into Bruce
Yeah,
and
so
me. And I put it into Jan, but Jan is thorough anyway.
After we stood in the corner, then we made these really long findings.
That's right. That's right. So,
Move that we adjourn.
okay.
Yes.
And I need a second.
I'll second it.
All right. Do I have to do? All right.
No.
All in favor.
Yeah, you do.
Nick, I.
Aye.
Will, I.
Aye.
Nanny, I.
Jan,
Jan, I.
Andy.
Al, I.
Aye.
Andy, I. Rita, I. Trevor, I. Sharon, I.
All right.
Everybody
All right.
is.
Aye, aye.
Good
Okay,
night, all.
Chris,
Have a
I
great
will.
night,
Bye-bye, all.
everybody.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Take
Good
care.
night, guys.
Miss you. Chris, I will email you. You can stop the recording, Chris.
Oh, thank you. Let me get where I can. Somewhere I'm screwed up here. Wait a minute.